And the last time I saw Crawford, he moved up yet another division, beat at the time a guy I thought was the best fighter in the division. Turns out he wasn't, but I thought he was at the time. And before that, had just annihilated Errol Spence. So if you look at all the boxes, I'm going to check Crawford for most of them.
I would listen. It's going to be great. It's going to be a great fight. You're dealing with two all-time greats. Crawford's one of the best switch hitters, I think, since Marvin Hagler, and one of the most skillful boxers alive. And then you have Canelo, who probably isn't the same guy as he was just like a few years ago.
Right.
And I think Crawford will win rounds in those fights.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Especially the early rounds. So Canelo may have to do something and try and, because he's not that active. I don't think he really wants to work that much.
With the bout of the decade coming up, Max Kellerman stunned the world of boxing with his prediction. The clash between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford has the fans abuzz, and most predicted the favorite to be Canelo. But Kellerman defied the consensus and chose Crawford to win, and his out-of-the-box opinion went viral through the boxing community, generating an endless number of debates on social media.
Canelo has had the longer career. He's been fighting since he's a teenager, and there's been signs recently that maybe he's not the same guy that he used to be. By the way, I know people think Inoue and Usyk are ahead of Crawford. The Ring has them rated ahead of Crawford. I don't, because to me, pound for pound is not a fairness issue. It's an issue of just who do you think is better. And the last time I saw Crawford, he moved up yet another division, beat at the time a guy I thought was the best fighter in the division. Turns out he wasn't, but I thought he was at the time. And before that, had just annihilated Errol Spence. So if you look at all the boxes, I'm going to check Crawford for most of them, if not all of them. But the reason Canelo is favored is because Canelo does a lot of things at a very high level, and he's a naturally bigger guy.
Joe Rogan also joined the debate and cast his voice in support of Crawford. Rogan picked out Crawford's quick reflexes, world-class timing, and unmatched fight IQ, complimenting how Crawford adjusts to each style he goes up against. As per Rogan, Crawford possesses the patience and calmness to handle the pressure and then turn the tables when necessary.
I would listen. It's going to be great. It's going to be a great fight. You're dealing with two all-time greats. Crawford's one of the best switch hitters, I think, since Marvin Hagler, and one of the most skillful boxers alive. And then you have Canelo, who probably isn't the same guy as he was just like a few years ago.
Right.
Later on, Rogan doubled back on his words, indicating that he's not merely impressed with Crawford's talent, he would like to see him conquer. Rogan went on record stating that a Crawford win over such a legendary fighter would rank as one of the most significant moments in recent boxing history. His urging of Crawford contributed even more fuel to fans already hoping for the underdog to prevail.
Which I think is really interesting. The Crawford-Canelo fight.
Beyond interesting. Fascinating.
Because how does Crawford compete with that size? Crawford is leapfrogging. He goes to super middleweight.
47 to 54 and now to 68.
And the Madrigal fight in 54 is a difficult fight.
Yeah. So who do you like in Canelo versus Crawford?
Well, I'm a giant Crawford fan because I think he's the best switch hitter since Marvin Hagler. I also think he's one of those guys that if you tell him he can't do something, he wants to show you and shock the world.
1000%.
I also think Canelo is slowing down, and Canelo is more of a one-punch fighter now than the combination fighter he was when he was young.
What later shocked the boxing world even more was the reveal that all of this became possible because of Devin Haney's father. Reports came out saying that Haney's father was the one who convinced Crawford to actually prepare and train for the fight against Canelo. That single influence opened the door to what could be one of the most historic clashes we've ever seen.
My dad was the one that told him that he should take the fight. Bud looked at my dad like
Canelo Bud.
yeah.
People are just talking about the size, right? That's why it's going to be too tough. But when you look at those two guys in stature, right, they don't look that difference in size. And Canelo is a small guy for 168.
Yeah.
Bud has longer arms. How's that matchup look to you?
I think it's a good matchup. It's a fight that we all been wanting to see. Bud has the skills. He got the discipline, IQ to win. But Canelo has all that with the size. So I think it's a good fight. I'm happy that Bud got the fight. My dad was the one that told him that he should take the fight. Bud came out and said that my dad was the one that told him to fight Canelo a long time ago.
Really?
So yeah.
Like in a private conversation, he just
he
recommended
told him, like,
that.
man, the fight for you is Canelo. And
Really?
and Bud looked at my dad like yeah, but
now it's here.
Yeah, no, it's here now. So I think it's a good fight for boxing.
Is your dad picking Bud to win that fight?
Of course, yeah. And I'm picking Bud too. But will it be an easy task? No. But if anybody could do it, I think Bud can.
The hype continued to build when breaking news indicated Floyd Mayweather's presence in Crawford's training camp. This immediately sparked rumors that Mayweather could be directly assisting him in preparation, and the speculations of Crawford gaining inside information and tactics from a fighter who already dominated Canelo previously had supporters abuzz with whether this might swing the fight in Crawford's direction. Others quickly related this to Crawford's newfound confidence. He emerged much braver in interviews, speaking things as they are, and not being shy about mentioning Canelo. Crawford went on the record saying he's not only going in to win on points, he's looking for the knockout. This raw assurance stood out as Crawford is typically reserved and measured in media spots.
He's been hurt before, but you know, he have been hit cleanly and he took it real well, and you know, anything is possible.
This increasing confidence received even more credibility when respected trainer Teddy Atlas weighed in. Atlas complimented Crawford and stated flat out that Canelo is not the same fighter he used to be. He maintained that Father Time has finally begun to get the best of Canelo and render him more suspectable. Atlas believed that Crawford's skill and discipline were capable of capitalizing on that, and whereas most wrote off Atlas for his well-known disdain for Canelo, others believed it was another voice of esteem acknowledging Crawford's actual opportunity to win.
Maybe he's a little overrated.
Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds.
Canelo's really good. Really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. I think he has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire, it's in his mind, it's in his makeup, where he came from. I know he's moving up in weight class, can he carry it? You know, but those intangibles.
Eddie Hearn stepped in next, and unlike Atlas, his opinion carried tremendous weight. Hearn complimented Crawford's boxing intelligence and outlined precisely where Crawford had the opportunity to capitalize in the fight. He owned in on Canelo's slowing pace and said Crawford excels when opponents slow their work rate. For Hearn, it wasn't about Canelo's history, it was about what is occurring in the present. He drew a vivid picture. If Crawford remains sharp, he could leverage Canelo's decreased activity to accumulate rounds and take the fight.
He didn't look great. You know, the movement didn't look great. I didn't think his legs looked fantastic. And I think if Terence Crawford decides to box elusively in this fight, I think he's going to really have success. When he gets hit, that's really the million-dollar question. How can he hang at 168? When you spend time with both of them, they're both so confident, you actually can't see him losing. Bud talks a brilliant game, and he's walked the walk continuously. And he has probably the best boxing IQ in the game.
Hearn spoke more, stating Crawford's best option is in the middle rounds when Canelo peters out. He described how Canelo usually comes out tough but wanes as the bout prolongs. Crawford's consistency might enable him to accumulate points and maintain the initiative during those instances.
And I think Crawford will win rounds in those fights.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Especially the early rounds. So Canelo may have to do something and try and, because he's not that active. I don't think he really wants to work that much.
Even within the camps of Canelo, doubts began to creep in. What if Canelo's own sparring partners conceded he wasn't completely sure this would be a cakewalk? He bluntly stated that Canelo has slowed down and isn't as sharp as he once was. Coming from someone who trains alongside him personally, those words weighed heavily. Fans quickly started thinking if Crawford's prospects were being undervalued, and the fissures in Canelo's dominance suddenly seemed tangible with individuals from his inner camp peddling the same doubts.
Yeah, he probably is on a decline a little bit, but you know, he's still a great, hell of a fighter, you know what I mean? Probably got a few more fights in him, you know. He's had a lot of fights over a long period of time, you know. Boxing is very grueling on the body, so we'll see.
He certainly has at least one fight left in him. That's going to be against Terence Crawford in a couple of weeks. Talk to me about that fight. Again, as I say, having shared the ring with Canelo, how do you think that's going to play out?
Man, that's a great question. It's a great fight.
But there were dissenters, and one of them was Oscar De La Hoya. De La Hoya emerged boldly, proclaiming victory for Canelo, declaring it an easy knockout win. His comment cut through all the hype surrounding Crawford and reminded us why Canelo is still regarded as one of the most lethal fighters on the planet. To De La Hoya, none of that nonsense about decline was a concern.
Now what the media is reporting, and it's circulating, is that Canelo Crawford is the biggest fight of the decade. I mean, to a purist and a fighter, it's laughable. Because you have Crawford jumping up 2 weight classes to fight Canelo, who's a natural light heavyweight. Crawford, who couldn't push back Madrimov. Life and death with Madrimov. What do you think Canelo's gonna do to him? Run him out of the ring!
Eddie Hearn responded quickly to that notion. He reminded everyone of an important fact. When did Canelo ever stop anyone? Years had passed since Canelo had last recorded a real knockout, and Hearn used that as proof that Crawford would take whatever was thrown at him. For Hearn, those days of Canelo finishing fights early were far behind him.
Yeah, but I mean, when was the last time Canelo got a stoppage?
Caleb Plant.
Yeah, and that was a good stoppage.
Vegas.
But beyond that, I mean,
we couldn't get Malenko out.
Billy Joe. What was that? 4 years ago?
Rolly Romero arrived next, making his viewpoint vociferous. He spoke out for Canelo with no hesitation at all and wrote off all the encouragement for Crawford. Rolly went so far as to insult Crawford supporters as idiots for considering that the underdog might emerge victorious. Canelo was too formidable, too veteran, and still the clear choice to overwhelm this contest.
Anyone that thinks Crawford has a chance is a complete idiot. They have weight classes for a reason.
Too big? Too skilled?
Way too big, way too skilled. And this isn't a skill matchup. It has nothing to do with skill. It has to do with weight.
Robert Garcia also favored Canelo, forecasting that Crawford would not just lose, but get thoroughly beaten in the process. Garcia emphasized that moving up in weight against the experienced champion Canelo was way too risky. He felt Crawford's body would not be able to withstand the difference in power, and his perspective wasn't only on skills, it was on brute physical power.
I don't see him doing that. I think he's gonna fucking fight tough in this fight. So more likely Canelo's gonna win. Maybe even hurt Crawford, but do I think Crawford has a chance? 100%.
David Benavides gave a more even assessment, agreeing with Crawford slightly but not ruling out Canelo whatsoever. He described how Crawford possesses the ability and mentality to go toe-to-toe with him, but didn't think it would come as a shock if Canelo found a way to win.
Terence Crawford, does he have an opportunity to beat Canelo?
I think if anybody has a chance to beat Canelo, I think it's Terence Crawford. His IQ is on another level. He's a great fighter and he's strong. It's just that it's a lot of weight. I wouldn't be surprised if Terence Crawford wins. Wouldn't be surprised if he loses.
Lastly, Dimitri Bivol did offer his opinion, and his comments did have heavy credibility because he's defeated Canelo previously. Bivol steered clear of taking a strong side, but did make an important point. He explained that going up 2 weight divisions would be a huge challenge for Crawford.
But then I saw him in Dubai maybe a month ago. I saw him. He's big, and he has very good skills. He's one of my favorite boxers. He able to win this fight, but there is a lot of but, and even not but, there is a lot of things, small things, which we don't know how he will deal with this. He need to get used to the power and pressure of 168, because it's big difference, to be honest.
One thing is certain, this fight is bigger than belts. It's a legacy. Leave your thoughts in the comments and remember to like and subscribe for additional breakdowns into the biggest fight of the year.